Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I'm going to show you how I make this easy, delicious, and inexpensive black bean soup with masa dumplings. Good morning, you guys. Today I woke up extra early and made some muffins for my family before work and school. And I also put on a pot of beans because I will be making some black bean soup today. And for today's soup, I will also be using white onion, garlic cloves, and dried epazote, and hoja santa. And these are dried leaves, but I already used most of them, so what's left behind is just the crumbs, but that's okay because I want them crumbled for this recipe. I'm also using morita peppers, ground cumin, some chicken bouillon powder, and my Maseca, and some pork cracklins. For full amounts, you can look down in the description box below. I've heated up this small skillet over medium-high heat, and I'm going to toast these peppers until they start to release their aroma and until they change color slightly. You want to make sure to not burn these because then they will become bitter and that will ruin the whole soup. After toasting my peppers, I'm going to transfer them to my pot of black beans. Now, the beans are already finished cooking, and I just want to transfer the peppers to the pot so that they can soften in the hot broth. I'm going to pour a little less than half of this bag into a Ziploc bag, a large Ziploc bag. And I'm going to close the bag. I'm going to get all the air out of the bag and I'm going to close it. And then I will crush the chicharrones, or the pork cracklins, until they turn into very small crumbs. And I'm going to use my husband's heavy Yeti cup to do this. You should have about 1 cup of crushed pork cracklins. This is going to add flavor to the dumplings. I've transferred my softened morita peppers to this blender, and I've also added 1.5 cups of black beans and also 2 cups of the bean broth to the blender as well. And now I'm adding 3 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. I'm also going to add about half a teaspoon of cumin, or I was going to, but looks like I'm about out. But that's okay. You don't have to add this. It'll be fine without it. But if you do have it, you could add about half a teaspoon of it. Now I'm going to blend until smooth, and then I will set it aside. Here in my large bowl, I have my 2 cups of Maseca, and I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. Next, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Next, I'm going to add my crumbled hoja. Now, if your bag is new and your leaves are still whole, I would crumble about 2 to 3 leaves and add them to the bowl. Next, I'm adding my crushed pork cracklins. And I'm going to mix this all together by hand. Once it's well combined, I will slowly add my water while still mixing. I'm going to use about 1 cup of water and another 1/3 a cup of water. You don't want this mixture to be too wet, but you also don't want it to be too dry. If it's dry, then it will be it will start cracking, the dumplings will crack open, and you just want it to be just right, just moist enough, just enough to keep it together. If the dough feels too dry, you can add a little more water to the mixture and continue mixing. Like I said, in total, I used about 1 to 1/3 a cup of water. Okay, so you'll want your dough to look something like the way mine does. And I'm going to cover this with a kitchen towel because I'm going to start working on the beans. I've heated up about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a large pot over medium heat. Now I'm going to add my diced onion, and I used half of an onion. And I'm just going to saute the onion in the olive oil for a few minutes. And I'm seasoning with a little salt. This is to taste. Now I'm going to add my garlic cloves, and I use a garlic press to do this. I find it much easier than mincing with a knife. I'm going to cook the onion and garlic mixture for about another minute. And now it's time to add my blended black bean mixture. I'm also going to add the rest of the beans and broth. I'm also going to add my little dried sprigs of epazote. And I'm going to add more water. And in total, I added 7 cups of water. Then I'm just going to cover this and let it cook on medium low while I prepare the dumplings. To make these dumplings, just grab a small amount of the dough and form it into a ball between the palms of your hands. And then poke a little hole into the top of it with your thumb. Just like that. And you want to make sure your dumplings are more or less the same size so that they will cook evenly. Now, these masa dumplings are also referred to as chochoyotes or bolitas de masa. Now, in my opinion, these masa dumplings are the best part of this black bean soup. They have so much flavor in them thanks to the crushed chicharron, hoja santa, and the chicken bouillon. This is a really delicious soup, especially in the chilly fall and winter seasons. Not only is it yummy, but it's also very inexpensive. We always have black beans on hand, either dried or canned black beans, and we almost always have the rest of these ingredients on hand as well. I made 26 dumplings, but the amount you make will depend on how big or small you make yours. Now I'm adding all of my dumplings to the pot of soup. Now is a good time to taste the broth for salt. And if you find it needs more, you can add either more chicken bouillon or you could add salt. I prefer to use chicken bouillon. I'm going to bring this soup to a boil over medium-high heat. Now that it has started to boil, I'm going to cover it and I'm going to reduce the heat to medium-low. And I will let this soup cook for about 20 minutes. You'll know that the soup is done because the dumplings will float to the surface. You'll want to remove the epazote before serving. And that is how you make an easy and delicious black bean soup with masa dumplings. I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video and I hope you guys will give this recipe a try. I'd love to hear what you think of it in the comments below. Thank you so much for visiting and I'll see you soon. Bye.